Drinking with Authors may contain adult content. Listener discretion is advised.
What's up, everyone? I am Nick Savage, host of tonight's episode of Drinking with Authors and author myself of the West Haven of the Dead series. Tonight's episode is, as always, sponsored by Four Horsemen Publications, and joining us is Maria DeVivo. Author of, I get to say that about her because we're friends, so I get to say her name how I want. She is author of the Blood Witch series, Dawn of the Blood Witch series, the Coal Elf Chronicles, too many C's for me to say properly, the Altered Experience, and the Aestrangel Trinity. Coming out in May-ish is Witch of the Midnight Shadow. Hold up that book so everyone can see it. Yes, that is the beautiful cover. What are you drinking?
All right, so in my, where is it? My little strawberry shortcake tumbler, because I'm so extra. I'm drinking a chocolate mudslide.
A chocolate mudslide. Is it made with Bailey's or with cream?
It is. Okay, so this is kind of like a spin on the traditional, right? So, oh, Guinness, nice. We've got, oh God, a little bit of milk, a little bit of ice cream, lots of ice. We've got cacao. Is that how you say it? I don't know. And what else? Chocolate liqueur. And my absolute favorite in the whole wide world, Big Black Dick rum.
That sounds like it is not a proper mudslide, but it does sound delicious. I used to work at TGI Fridays back in the day when it was good and before it all closed down. And actually, the mudslide is why I got the job there, because I would go after the job I was working, and one of the bartenders would make me a mudslide that was so not the recipe. And eventually, they're just like, "Why don't you work here?" And I was like, "Okay." And that was 12 years of my life.
I think in the case of a mudslide, it's like just throw a bunch of chocolate shit in there and call it a mudslide and blend it up. And hey, let's have fun.
Chocolate alcohol in a milkshake form. Yes.
It's awesome.
It's good. Yeah, no, I'm just doing Guinness Extra Stout. I was like, if I'm going to be drinking, I might as well buy some beer and not like kill my liver. Drinking on the regular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So tell us about the Witch of the Midnight Shadow.
Witch of the Midnight Shadow. So she's coming out in May 8th. She's dropping. And she's technically book 7 in the series. And but the series is kind of built on the whole premise that you can start anywhere. Like you could start at book 7 if you wanted to. You could start at book 3. You could start at book 4. It doesn't matter. They're all standalone books in like a shared world. The basic premise, like the overarching premise of the whole series, is that witches are real, and they're trying to, I mean, because duh, obviously, they're trying to open up the portal to like the other dimension, and they want to let the old gods come back and reign supreme. And it's just a matter of like how they go about doing it. So it's like each witch has their own story about how they discover who they are and how they come to power and all that fun stuff. So Midnight Shadow takes place in the 1940s. It's a crazy, creepy carnival, if that's your thing. And I include a lot of Aleister Crowley mythology and, you know, tarot card readings and all that fun, freaky stuff.
Now, you said old gods. Are you H.P. Lovecraftian style old gods, or you just mean like even before those, you know, like how primordial? Okay.
Yeah, no, we're talking like in book 4, there's like chapter 11, I believe it is, where they talk about like the beginning of time when the cosmos like cracks open, you know, and we're talking like beginning eternal gods. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going past Lovecraft and all that stuff.
Hey, yeah.
Very nice. Now, you've written a lot of books. You have 7 in the one series, 3 in the Altered, 3 in the Aestrangel, and 4 or 5 in the Coal Elf series, right?
No, just 3. Just
3. But either way, that's 9 and so that's 16 books. That's 16 books.
Yeah.
Explain to people who might be a little lost or feel like 16 is a lot of books to write. how do you do this without just relying on AI to write your books? Because I know your publisher and my publisher are anti-AI. So how do you do this without just going, fuck it, here's a prompt, write me a book?
Well, I mean, I've never had when I started writing, AI wasn't a thing. So I've kind of just trained myself to get in that groove and get in that, and keep the juices flowing. So like my writing career predates the advent of AI. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And what you're basically boiling it down to is find yourself a groove and you don't need AI. And AI was around when we started writing, but it was a cautionary tale told about in Terminator movies.
Yes, yes, it
Yeah.
was. No. You know what I mean, though. Like, it wasn't something that, like, I could just open up my computer and just put in a prompt and boom,
Yeah.
there it is. But yes, so finding your groove, like being disciplined, having discipline is definitely like a key here. I'm a teacher by day, and when I'm teaching during the school year, like I don't have a lot of time, but I have to make time. So I purposefully kind of like have to build my schedule out for 10 months to kind of figure out like, okay, well, I'll write on this day, and I'll, and I have like a goal in my head. Like I want to hit like a certain amount of words, like for my word count, when I am writing. In the summer, because I'm not working, I'm working. Like I'm writing, and I make a separate schedule for that. But like you have to be disciplined, like because like I said, typing a prompt, hitting a button, that's easy, and that's not writing. That's not writing.
So you said you're a teacher by day, and I see you are covered in tattoos. I say like we haven't fucking met in real life and like hung out in real life. You are covered in tattoos. And something I've never asked you, so I'm asking you on the podcast right now. Do you show up to class like that, or does the district make you cover?
Do you see what I'm wearing right now?
Yeah.
This is what I wore to school. Like I wear stuff like this to school.
And
like
the
I am who I
administration
am.
doesn't care.
No, my principal is tatted up too. He's a little bit more discreet about it, and he'll cover up. He'll wear like a suit jacket and whatever.
Yeah.
But dude, it's fucking Florida. Like, it's hot. And when the AC doesn't work half the time, man, like listen.
Like no doubt the kids love it. You know what I'm saying? Because kids
yeah.
love the different, things that are different. I was just thinking the administration would be clutching their pearls and going, oh. But if the principal's all inked up, then it's
Yeah, there's so when I lived in New York, I taught in New York for 5 years, and I taught at a Catholic school. And when I started teaching, I only had like this is a cover up. I had like one little turtle thing there. And the principal, it was Catholic school. The principal was like, yeah, you need to cover that up if you're gonna wear, a low cut thing. And I'm like, okay. And I would wear Band-Aids. I had like bandages all over my body. But then when I came to Florida, it was kind of like, nah, let your freak flag fly, I guess. So,
well, that's wonderful. And it's nice to see that restrictions are, loosening up. And it's funny though, because like when I used to work restaurants of all places, they'd be like, oh, you can't have tattoos showing. And I'm like, dude, these are people who are like drinking in between tables out back. And like smoking pot before their shift, before pot was legalized. Like you can't tell them they can't have tattoos. They're gonna, have tattoos and funky colored hair and facial piercings and stuff. And it's just
exactly
like, because people like to associate, certain looks with certain professionalism or certain lifestyles. And it's like it's not how it is. It's how it's never been. And to kind of propagate that is false. So it's nice to see that you're breaking down barriers. So back to writing though. How do you write? Are you like, here's an idea for a story and you write it, or do you like plot and write? And give me the skinny and how the writing process works for you. I'm going to drink.
Drink. Are you asking me if I'm a plotter or a pantser? Like, is that where this is headed? Like, that's where we're headed?
Yeah.
We're going there?
We're really going there. We're going there.
We're going there. Okay.
I'm good though. When I'm on the air, I'm good about this.
Okay. So I'm a little bit of both, right? So I get an idea in my head and I'm like, oh, okay. And it usually starts out with like character names. And I'm like, oh, that's a cool name. I'm going to fucking name my character this. And then it's like, all right. And then I build upon that. And I'm like, okay, well, what does she do? Or what does he do? And how is it all going to fit together? So it's kind of like a mishmash, right? But once I nail down like the idea, like I always know how the story is going to start and I always know how the story is going to end. I actually have like the very last line of every single book that I've ever written. I've always known the last line before I actually started. Like I like it's weird. I don't know. And then like so I kind of plot out. I do plot out like beats and I go in beats of 3. So this is really weird. Every chapter has 3 beats to it. So I know this needs to happen, this needs to happen, and this needs to happen. I don't know how I get from beat 1 to beat 2 and beat 2 to beat 3. That's where I kind of pants myself. Okay. But the plotting is like I know I have a sense of what to go down. You know?
No, that makes sense. I just got caught up on you saying you pants yourself, and I was just like, that means something different in the writing world.
It does.
No, and that's actually far more plotting, I think, than you want to admit to when we have our, when we had talked in real life, because you know where I stand on certain issues, but I'm not, going to judge anyone for writing how they may. This beer, by the way, it's Guinness Extra Stout. I've never had extra stout. I've had regular Guinness before, and I just had to side note this for a second. I got this because I'm not a huge fan of Guinness, but I'm like, you know what? Many, many people in the world are fans of Guinness, so I'm like, I want to try their extra stout, and this is pretty decent, and it hits.
It hits.
It hits. I mean, it is 5.6 by volume, which is almost that of like a lot of microbrews and stuff. So I'm gonna chug and get a little tipsy.
Go for it.
Yeah, no. So, okay, so you have 3 books in each of the other series, and they are done. Ish.
Are they done? Ish, yes. They're definitely done for now. Like, my main objective right now is to finish out the Witch series. That's going to be 10. And then after that, I have and I'm going to do an anthology of the witches because there's like all these side characters and stuff and side stories that I don't really get too deep into, and I really want to kind of explore that. And then after I do that, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going. I might go back to Aestrangel. I might go back to the Altered. Everybody tells me they're like, once they finish the Altered Trinity, the Altered series, they're like, we want more. And I'm like, well, I ain't got more, but maybe one day I will have more. If it hits me. I mean, if the idea hits me, like I'm going to go for it,
Here's my thoughts on that. Always leave them wanting more, because if the series wraps up too nicely, there's nothing for them to talk about except to reminisce on the moments in the series that they liked. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is my favorite character because he did this in this scene or whatever. But there's no real conversation to be had there. Whereas if you leave them wanting more, it allows them to talk about the series. It allows fans to write their fanfic of the series. You know what I'm saying? And there's a saying that says you either die a hero or live long enough to be a villain. And it's meant for people like in real life, like say problematic actors who were once non-problematic. But it's the same with series. You can leave a series good at 3 books or 5 books or 7 books or whatever it is, or 10. But if you keep writing, eventually you're going to kill the series, and you're going to, instead of the series dying a hero or they want more, they're going to die a villain, and they're going to be like, oh, they fucked up that series,
Right.
Am I wrong in that?
No, there's valid. I get that.
Now,
I feel like if there's more story to be told, why not tell it?
If there's more story to be told. But do you think that every how can I phrase this? Do you think that every story is worth telling? And I ask this, it's a multi-part question. Don't worry, I'll let you answer. And I ask this because I feel like not every side character in every series needs their own spin-off. because like I'm a huge fan of NCIS, the television series, and I talk television a lot. I know it's an author podcast, but it's a podcast meant for everyone. And I talk television because more people watch shit than read shit. Tony and Ziva was a great miniseries. It was supposed to be a series that ended after 10 episodes, and it was great for what it was. But it was a perfect example of why not every character needs their own spinoff. So do you worry about that happening when you write your anthology on the witches and the side characters there?
No, because, and this is, I'm gonna, okay.
Yeah, just no. And next question. Yeah, no.
No, hear me out.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so the witches, 10 books. Like I'm writing 10 books in the saga. It's not a series, it's a saga, right? There's a boatload of characters. So I'm going to do one anthology. I'm going to do 18 stories, like done. Like, so it's not like I'm going to hit every side character. I actually am probably going to write stories about the characters, my main characters, that like during a time period where we don't see them and something interesting happens. Cause I do have a couple of ideas about that. So it's not, yes, I agree with you. Absolutely 100%. But I feel like in my heart, I have these stories to tell, and I'm going to run with it.
Do you ever find yourself coming up with a story that you think will make a good book and then realize it either makes a good scene in some bigger story, or the story itself you thought was good ends up not being worth it and you just kind of scrap it?
Yes. Like
give me an example of one of those things. Like, give me an example of something that, it doesn't have to be like throwing yourself under the bus on this, but like, is there like something that comes to mind, I should say, that you were like, oh, I thought this would be great, and it just,
no. Like perfect example, Midnight Shadow. Like that book, I mean, it's book 7, right? So when I was back in, I didn't know this was going to be like a massive series until book 3. Right, I wrote book 2 and I was like, all right, fine, cool, this is great. Which was kind of like a sequel, but a prequel, but not. But it was a side story. I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is a standalone. So when I wrote book 3, that's where you start to see like a lot of the connections. So once I wrote book 3, I was like, all right, this is where we're going. And I had a general outline for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. I was already on lock. I knew what 10 was going to be. So when I originally planned book 7, the original plan for book 7 actually became like a scene in book 5, and I scrapped everything and I like retooled everything. So yeah, I mean, it happens. It definitely happens.
Very nice. My brain totally just shut off on me right now.
Was I rambling? I was rambling.
No, you weren't rambling at all. I was trying to think of things, and then my brain was like, Guinness, good.
Guinness.
And it just kind of,
Mudslide.
So on a side note, and I know this podcast isn't about me, but I have to explain this for a second, and it buys me time to think of things. I had MegaCon last weekend from the time we recorded.
How was it?
It was fantastic. And I had so many orders come through that I spent the next 5 days working on those orders to ship out, and then I ran out of mailers, so they're coming tomorrow, and I'll finish mailing out tomorrow. But my brain is finally getting a chance to like decompress from the chaos that is like the biggest convention I ever do. And I'm just kind of like, right now at this moment, at 18 minutes and 30 seconds into this episode, is when my brain's like, and you're done. And I'm like, no, I have to get through this episode. And you had to drink more Mudslide. We had to do this. I asked you if we were going to do shots, and you're all like, no, because
I'll die.
I'm in my 40s and can't handle alcohol anymore.
I'm almost 50, dude.
It's still in your 40s. I wasn't like making shit up. You got,
no,
you're
like
what?
I'm old.
No, you're not old. 40 is the new 20. Actually, 50 is the new 20, which makes 40 like the new 10, which is kind of weird and creepy.
That's creepy.
But like, you have to remember that Wilford Brimley was 50 when he did Cocoon. Tom Cruise was 50 when he did Rockstar.
You liar.
No.
Wilford Brimley.
I mean, he
No.
was born 50. He was 50 when he did Cocoon. The Golden Girls, if you watch the series premiere of Golden Girls, they talk about how they're 50 and nobody wants to hire them anymore and they're washed up and they're old. They were 50 in that show. I want you to take a look at yourself approaching 50 and then take a look at Blanche Devereaux and Dorothy, and not Sophie because she's the mom, and Betty White. They were in their early 50s.
No fucking
Yes.
way.
Yes. And then all of a sudden we started aging better as the younger boomers and all the Gen Xers, you know what I'm saying, started aging. And Tom Cruise does Rockstar at 50, which is the exact opposite of what Cocoon was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Okay.
now here's the thing, though, is I understand the lack of drinking, because when I started doing this podcast, I was like, I don't drink much anymore. So I've been drinking a little more and more. And it's just like the next day, if I'm doing a podcast where I'm drinking, my brain's just like, no.
I'm not doing this.
But I'm that's why I'm doing beer. That's why I'm doing beer. But a Mudslide does.
I'm not a beer drinker. I don't drink beer.
You have to find the right beer. It's kind of like I don't do drugs, but if I found the right drug, I think we'd all just, be a. I don't do cocaine. I just like the smell of it. Isn't that the way the saying goes? Yeah, It smells so good and like candy. No, don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs.
Never.
I know, right? It's
bad. Horrible.
The disclaimers on this episode are going to have to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, you have Witch of the Midnight Shadow coming out, which is book 7. You have 3 more books to write. Are those the next 3 books? Because 7, 8, 9, 10. Are the next 3 books in the Dawn of the Blood Witch series the next 3 books you're writing, or do you have other books on the horizon as well?
That's all I'm concentrating on. No.
That's all you're
so, all right. Yeah. So listen, here's how it goes. Book 8 is already with 4 Horsemen. They're editing, typesetting, covering, all that. So that should be. Called? Book 8 is called Witch of the Dark Storm.
Witch of the Dark Storm. Okay, so you already have book 8 done.
It's done.
I'm
writing right now. Book 9 is being written right now. I'm almost done. I'm 2 chapters away. And that's going to be Witch of the Violet Mist.
Violet or violent?
Violet, the color. Don't you see the pattern? Okay. The pattern, Nick. The pattern. Yeah. Adjective, noun.
Oh, violent's an adjective.
Wow. Okay.
Violence is you have colorful, no pun intended, colorful adjectives. No. Yeah. Like dark and violet and colors. Violent is very much an adjective.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, no. Well, it is. A band I was part of released an album called an EP called The Violent Majority instead of The Silent Majority. It was all puns on the word silent. You need more. Do we need to pause this so you can go make another Mudslide?
I'm going to text my husband. He's going to bring it to me.
He's going to bring it to you. We're going to take a little pause break. Well, Joe DeVivo comes in.
No. I'm just going to text him. I'm going to be like, hey.
Is it like in the blender, or does he have to like make it and everything for you?
He, wait, hold on. He actually texted me like 20 minutes ago. Anyone want a second?
Yes.
Oh, I think the whole house is drinking tonight. We're all drinking tonight.
Morgan's drinking
in the household.
Too? Nice. Yeah. I got to be honest though, growing up Italian, it was like you were able to have your brandy Alexanders at family functions, and if you forgot to not put alcohol in it, you were 12 and getting, schwasty. So
I was 9 and being at a big family function, and they're passing the wine around, and I was like, okay, when in Rome. I mean,
First time I ever got drunk, I was 12, and it was because it wasn't at a family function by any means, but you start drinking young, you get over it by the time you're 18. By the time you drive, you don't care anymore. So it's,
you don't. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like 21 is supposed to be a big thing, and it was like, been there, done that.
Yeah, no. Did you do anything special for your 21st, or were you just like, whatever? Can you remember that far back?
No, shut up.
It was decades ago.
No, my 21st, I had, because my birthday is October 24th. So it's exactly a week before Halloween. So we had this big costume party. And yeah, it was a big family friend, everybody at the house. And we just all got shit faced, you know. And we were all dressed up, costume party. It was fun.
See, that's wonderful. I wish I had stock like that in birthdays. Like my 21st birthday, I think, was spent at a bar writing a book or writing a screenplay. I was just like, I was like, whatever, I don't care. I'm getting together with friends later on. Just spending it like Bennigan's writing. Bennigan's. For everyone watching this who's too young to know what Bennigan's is, Bennigan's was awesome back in the day. It was like the redheaded stepchild of TGI Fridays. Yeah, it was great.
That place was the shit. That was the shit.
I worked there for 1 week before I got fired.
All right, why'd you get fired?
I wrote down the wrong schedule and called 5.5 hours late to say I was going to be half an hour late. And they're like, yeah, you're supposed to be here at 11. I was like, oops. They're like, yeah, and it's within the first 30 days. I'm like, yeah, I understand. So it was what it was.
Dude.
I didn't want the job. I took it because one of the bartenders was hot.
Oh, okay. Well, the things we do when we're young, of course.
I was like 17. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
It was Bennigan's. Does anyone ever really want to work at Bennigan's? You just end up working there.
Sure.
But no. So back to the non-restaurant environment of life. Halloween, a week before Halloween is your birthday. So do you get stuck celebrating your birthday and Halloween at the same time, except for special occasions, or do you make an effort to separate the two?
No, I combine. I absolutely combine, because like I'm a big Halloween person, so like my life is Halloween. So I tend to just like consider Halloween my actual birthday.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Halloween is my actual anniversary, so it works well. Oh yeah, we had a costume wedding and everything. It was quite fun.
Oh, dude, man! If
I know,
I wanted to get married in October, but the prices were like, and I got married in New York, of course. So like the prices for August versus October was like disgusting, and I was like, all right, no, fuck it.
Now, we were lucky because the venue wasn't supposed to have a wedding that day because of some other stuff going on. And we had our wedding that day. So they like gave us free butler hors d'oeuvres and stuff for the wedding guests and stuff, which I thought was great.
Oh, wow.
Well, cool. I had seen it at my friend's wedding. So I was like, can you guys do butler hors d'oeuvres? They're like, yes, we will do that for you. I was like, oh yeah, it was great. Where is your other Mudslide? He has not come in and given it to you yet.
No. Guess what? Huh. So my earpiece is in my deaf ear, so I could barely hear you. My good ear, I could hear from downstairs. I hear him in the kitchen.
Okay. Do I need to speak up so you can hear me?
No. You're fine. Okay. You're fine.
You're good. I'm barely able to hear. Yeah.
I'm fine. Like I could hear you. I could hear it, but I'm like looking at your mouth, like reading your lips. I read lips. Don't do that, Nick. Not nice. I thought we were friends.
We are friends, but now I know you're staring at my lips, and it makes me feel self-conscious.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. There's nothing.
All right. Nothing. So let me ask you this: you have 2 books left. You're working on number 9. Then you have number 10, which is going to be called "Witch of the Burning Florida
Sky.
Keys." The Burning Sky, not the Florida Keys.
Yeah. Okay. Not the Florida Keys. No.
You don't want to do a Florida witch anywhere? No, you're like, it's Florida. We don't need to. No. So, Witch of the Burning Sky is book number 10.
10. Yeah.
10. What do you have planned after that?
Or I'm going to do the anthology. Just the anthology?
After that?
I don't know.
You don't know. You have nothing planned. That's okay.
What the fuck do I know?
I don't know. I have like 9,000 books planned. I wasn't sure if you were like that or if you're just like, let's see where the tide takes you.
Okay, so no. I do have ideas. I do have, right? But nothing that I've landed on, definitively.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, definitively. Okay. Nothing makes sense. It makes sense. It does make sense. The alcohol has gotten to me a little bit.
Me too.
But that's where stories start, is with an idea that kind of germinates in the head and grows into something more. And then you're like, now it's time to get this puppy on paper. Excuse the alliteration. Sure. Yeah. So away from stories. I have a question, because people see you, they see me, and they know we have tattoos. Yeah. What is the worst spot you've ever been tattooed? Pain-wise.
Wait, what do you, pain-wise?
Yeah.
My foot.
Top of the foot?
The top of the foot. Yeah, the top of the foot. That I saw stars. I was crying. I almost stopped. I mean, I don't know what it was. It was just so painful.
Yeah, it's because there's like flesh and bone and no fat or muscle right there. So that's right. It's hitting. Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, me? No, everyone. I have no pain tolerance when it comes to tattoos. So certain spots hurt less. No, certain spots hurt less. Like the ones on my leg, when they were on the calf muscle, I was fine, but when it went to the bone, it hurt. Inside here started to hurt a little bit, as did somewhere around here. I don't know. Just everything. I am such a fucking wimp when it comes to tattoos. And I try and Huh? I am. No, totally. Like all of my tattoo artists, because I've had 2 down here and 3 back home when I was living in Chicago, 3 or 4, and they've all kind of made jokes at the faces I make. And so it always intrigues me when I see someone with tattoos, like, more tattoos than I have, and they're just like, yeah, you just, and I'm like, but it hurts when you're doing it. And mine's all words, so it's outlines, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and shading is another, monster altogether. And some people just have a much better pain tolerance. And I find women especially are just like, whatever, it's here, it's happening, except on their foot. I saw one person pass out from the top of the foot thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. I thought, okay, so I don't know if you could see right here, like it kind of goes up into my throat.
Yeah.
Right here. Oh, yeah. Why is my camera moving like that? What the hell?
It's it's auto adjusting.
Oh, so stupid.
It's for when you do your OnlyFans stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my foot OnlyFans stuff.
Yeah.
Actually,
that was a joke, folks. She does not do OnlyFans.
Yeah. So I thought that this was gonna hurt, but it doesn't. It didn't. It really didn't. It was like I looked at her and I went, "Are you even hitting me with the needle?" And she was like, yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't feel it." But I will say the second was, no, I gotta sit up here. Oh my God. All right. So you see my chest piece, right? Well, if it goes down into like the between,
that's called the cleavage. That's called the cleavage right there. Yeah.
Right. No. But like on the breastbone, like in that area.
The sternum itself. Yeah.
The sternum. Oh, Jesus Christ. That was something else. The sternum hurt worse than right here. This?
Yeah.
I didn't feel that. Didn't feel that.
I have an old buddy who is covered in tattoos. And he said this, at least of the time, that this was the most painful. And that's nothing for you? Yeah, no.
Nah. I would do that all day, every day.
The sternum.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That sent me over.
Now, for those watching right now, how many tattoos do you have?
What year are we? We're 2026?
26, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why the year has anything to do with tattoos, but it's 2026. How many tattoos do you have?
26.
Why do you have 26? Did you start getting your tattoos in 2020?
No, before I started getting them in 1996. But I was poor, right? So I'm still poor, but
I know. I'm like, we're authors, we're poor.
like what we're poor, we're starving artists. No, so like I got like my first couple of tattoos in '96, and then a couple of years, blah, 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 blah. And then I started getting one. I get one every year for my birthday. That's my birthday present.
Okay.
So,
And are you getting anything for the Big 5-0? Like anything
well,
special for the Big 5-0 besides just another tattoo?
no, I mean, I'm going to be 49 this year, so I'll be
Yes.
47. I'll be 47. Wow. I'll be 50 in 27. But I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
You
I don't
need
know.
more drink. You're just
I know. I heard him. I texted him.
And he needs to bring it to you. Where is your manservant?
Where is my man?
Yeah. Is he going to come in wearing like a manservant outfit?
That would be really scary. That would be really scary. My husband's a big Italian hairy dude and scary dude.
Does he still have the big beard?
Yes, and it's almost all white now. And
I'm assuming naturally he doesn't like bleach it white.
No. Okay. He's old. He's just old.
We're not old. I'm 46. You're 48.
I'm 48. He's 50.
It's not old.
He's 50.
It's not old. Tom Cruise and Rockstar. He was 50. And I've seen pictures of your husband. He's not Wilford Brimley old.
No, he's not.
No.
He hasn't even seen my text. I texted him.
What a dick. Tell your husband he has failed on the alcohol. He has to retake his alcohol certifications. Yeah.
You would think he would want to keep his lady liquored up.
Right?
Right.
Ways to no, I'm not even going to go there in today's environment.
We're not going there.
It was a bad, yeah. It was.
Do not go there.
No. Bad jokes. But they're married. No, see, you still can't, like, certain jokes you just can't, like, make anymore because even if they're meant with the jokiest of intentions, they come out wrong, and then you realize what you said, and you're like, ew, I sounded like complete bleh. And then it just looks bad, and you're like, and this is why stand-up comedy should be left to the stand-ups, because they can say stuff that, like, people on a podcast can't say without coming across, like, completely inappropriate.
Yeah, but you know what? Guess what? So we've known each other for many years now, and we're friends out of the working environment, and it doesn't really matter. So we're cool.
No, yeah, it's one of those things where I think people in general today, regardless of gender, regardless of age, the humor has shifted. Like I was watching old SNL episodes from like the 70s and 80s. And like early 80s, and the humor and what was thought funny back then wouldn't be found humorous today, would be found slightly inappropriate and cringy, as the youngins like to say.
Yes.
And I'm just like, it's one of those things where like you realize that people above a certain age, they get a pass for saying certain things, not because they're old, but because like they don't realize what they're saying is like, I grew up in Chicago. For an example, I grew up in Chicago, and of course, being Italian, you hear people say Italian and you're like, you're being a dick. I always thought it was Iran, the country, Iran. I thought it was Iran. And my wife's like, why are you saying it like that? I'm like, because that's how you say it. Like, I didn't know. And she's like, it's Iran. I was like, that's what I said. Because from Chicago, I'm like, that's what I said. I said Iran. She's like, no,
that's what came
Iran. And so I make a concerted effort to say it properly, simply because I didn't know, one, I was saying it wrong, and two, the way I was saying it, I didn't know was offensive. I thought it was just the name of the country. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is like, I have friends who live not in Iran, but in the Middle East, and the things you learn, you know what I'm saying, just by making friends is so different. So like these older people, they get a pass on certain things, but after a while, you're like, now they're just saying it to be belligerent, and that's when the pass goes away.
You're saying it to be a dick. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, concerted effort to say Iran, which I still say like half wrong a lot of the times. You know what I'm saying? Because my brain just wants to say
No,
ran.
same.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like Iran. I'm like, no, Iran, and I don't do it. You know, I'm like, it's like it's like when I learn someone's name, I have to say it like 10 times. I just say Iran like 80 times before I say it once in my head. You say it like 8 times in my head, just so I say it right, because I grew up saying it wrong. But it's the same with jokes. You have to watch out, you know, like what jokes you're going to say, and understand the intent behind them, and then understand how it's going to come across to everyone else.
Be perceived. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because perception isn't reality, I don't think. And I'm going to ask you what your thoughts are on that in a second. But perception is perception. You know what I'm saying? So am I wrong in that? Is perception reality, or are people just too sensitive?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think perception is individual reality, if that makes sense.
A subjective reality.
Yes.
So then,
like, what is real?
Are people's inability to distinguish between subjective and objective a root of issues nowadays, or is it just an issue of learning the subjective majority and having to kind of recognize that?
No, I think the jury's still out on that. I think everything is like kind of crazy now, so it's like we're just kind of learning as we go along.
And I blame the boomers for that in a joking way. And it's because the Gen X were left to our own devices that we had to teach ourselves a lot of things. So we were not.
Oh my God,
yeah. Like we're 7 getting home from school by ourselves and turning on the stove to make, Chef Boyardee.
Right?
Yeah. I didn't know for a long time you couldn't put metal in the microwave, because we used to put high C. We used to freeze high C's, a little like drink boxes of high C's, and freeze them. And then we'd put them in the microwave for like 10 seconds, and it wouldn't spark or anything because they were closed. If metal is enclosed, it won't spark in the microwave.
Once you open up that fucking juice box, dude.
Yeah, you can't put it in the microwave. And like, I kind of knew this, but I always thought like maybe, I don't want to say I didn't know metal couldn't go in the microwave, because I know you couldn't put like a fucking spoon in the microwave. But I just never realized that like it was all metal, you know what I'm saying? And like the lining of those boxes, once I put it in when it was open, you'll learn really quickly. You know what I'm saying? That you can't do that.
Yeah.
But it sparks
You
before it
really
explodes.
fast,
it's
you?
fine. Yeah. It sparks before
it explodes.
It's
fine. It's fine. Yeah. It's fine. I'm sure.
I mean, because you know why they spark, because there's no moisture in metal. It can't retain any moisture. So it's the molecule, because the microwave just heats up the water molecules. And if there's no water, it heats up what it can, which is the metal molecules, which causes them to spark and explode. It's why the fish thing happens. Don't do it. Don't do it. Goldfish microwaves. Oh.
Wait, stop.
You
put goldfish in the microwave?
I never did. No. I never did. I have always been like kind to animals. I love animals. I have had old acquaintances who have told me stories. Now, whether they had told me stories because they did it or it was hearsay, but nowadays you can Google having to watch videos and you can see it. Yeah. Be nice to animals.
Be nice to animals. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm getting my drinks here.
Is he on camera? Or is he giving it?
No. He's not on camera. He's not on camera.
Yeah.
He just asked me how much I went, so I was like, that much.
That much.
I felt like a gangster. I felt like Karen Hill in Goodfellas, and he's like, "How much do you want?" I was like, "That much."
That much. As far back as I can remember.
Yeah, that's good.
I always wanted to be a gangster.
Be a gangster. Thank you. Thanks, babe.
Probably one of the best mob movies ever made, if not the best mob movie ever made.
Thank you. It's very good. Best. Love it. Like quotable for days.
Yes.
I thought he was talking to me. Sorry. No. Love that movie. Goodfellas. Do I have a Goodfellas poster? I don't have a Goodfellas poster on me.
That is a poster.
Yes, I do.
I never had either. Oh, you do have one?
No, I have a Goodfellas. I do. It's right here, but you can't see it.
No, I can't see it.
But yeah.
Your camera's trying to show me. As you pointed, it moved.
Can you see the
creepy.
Braveheart one behind me?
No, it looks like two cat eyes glowing in the darkness.
Oh, that's because it's reflecting the freaking lamp lights. So I've got The Dark Knight, I've got Bram Stoker's Dracula, I've got Pulp Fiction, I've got Rob Zombie's Halloween, Terminator 2, Goodfellas, and Braveheart.
All right, let's talk about the awesomeness that is Braveheart. I ended up watching that the other day, and it is still such a powerful movie, despite everything with Mel Gibson. Yeah, it's such.
I feel like you gotta when you separate the artist from the art, because if you gotta enjoy stuff, right? Braveheart's fucking top notch, man. Top notch.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Braveheart is absolutely phenomenal. Still brings a tear to my eye. I ended up watching Armageddon the other day too, which was way underrated. As much money as it made, people give it crap for. Yes, it's unrealistic. All movies are unrealistic to a point.
So unrealistic.
Oh yeah, but come on, Steve Buscemi on a meteorite just popping off a machine gun or Gatling gun is just hysterical.
Dude, it's such a good movie. It truly is. I cry every time I watch it. I mean, like an idiot, but
come on, Bruce Willis dies to save humanity. What more can you want from a movie? And now it just strikes harder because of Bruce Willis's, current state. It's just even sadder. What besides Goodfellas, are there any other mob movies that stick out in your mind as must-sees?
I'm not a big fan of it. I know, unpopular opinion, but Godfather. I mean, you have to see it. Not my favorite. Not my favorite.
I will kind of agree with you on this. It's a phenomenal movie for what it was at the time, and it's worth seeing. It's worth studying from a story standpoint.
Yes.
But much like Citizen Kane, it doesn't quite, in my opinion, withstand the test of time by modern standards. So you have to almost go, this was made then, this is how it was movie-wise, and then you can appreciate it more. Like, have you ever seen Casino?
Love it. That's like my number 2. It's Goodfellas and Casino.
Very, very good movie, and they both, at least currently, still withstand the test of time. Give it another 50 years, who the hell knows? You know what I'm saying? But I think all the movies, all the good mob movies have their worth to watch for one reason or another. So that is nice.
The Departed was good.
Unlike what they preach about in The Departed, cops do not actually have to tell you they are cops when asked.
Really?
That is not true. Yeah, if a undercover cop is asked if they're a cop, they are under no legal obligations to tell you while they're on duty if they are a cop, if they're trying to make a case. I have talked with many cops about this because I was just curious, and of course, when The Departed came out. Can I tell an interesting story about The Departed?
Please.
Okay. So I used to work haunted houses doing makeup, and I worked this one haunted house, and there was a cop, and it made national news. This cop that used to work the haunted house was killed in the line of duty. And they never caught, at first they're like, oh, we're looking for the suspect, and then it ended up being finalized that he killed himself because he was embezzling money and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I had seen The Departed before, and everything that plays out with this cop kind of rings a bell in the back of my mind, and I couldn't place it. And then I watched The Departed again. And I was like, this is everything that happened with this cop. I was like, now obviously The Departed wasn't based on this cop, as he died years after the movie was made.
Right.
But I was like, to this day, because I have friends, old friends who worked in the journalism, industry, who covered this story back in Chicagoland, the greater Chicagoland area. And they were like, no, he was guilty. He did it. We read the text messages. We did this. The cyber text looked into it, and they're like, nothing was. And I was like, no, something's wrong. Something's wrong. I had many conversations with this cop, and I've gotten bad feelings about people. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying, anything like that. Like, oh, the feelings I get are always on point. I've had bad feelings
You're
about
an
people
empath.
that turned out true. But I've never got one bad feeling about this guy.
Okay.
And to see everything that happened with him, and then to see The Departed, that is the one conspiracy theory, besides 2 shooters for Kennedy, the one conspiracy theory that I will die on a hill for, that he did not kill himself. Yes.
Wow.
And it is just one of those things that I'm not going to argue it. I'm not going to sit there and talk to the people who are involved in it and try and convince them otherwise. But I will die on the hill that he killed himself, and it was a giant cover up to save the person in power.
Really?
Yeah. And it is one of those things where if you know the ins and outs of what happened with that, and then you watch The Departed, you're like, this is 1000% it. 1000% The Departed. Yeah. And it was just, one of those things.
Sounds like could be an interesting premise for a book.
It was already written. It was called The Departed. I can't do it.
Son of a bitch. That's not what I'm talking about.
I can't do it. Here's people, a lot of authors like to write on trend. You know what I'm saying? They're like, these are the trends. This is what I'm writing. And you don't. Me and you don't. And here's my thoughts on this. If you write on trend, by the time your book goes through typeset, goes through cover design, goes through beta reads, goes through editing, goes through second rounds, and that comes out to the general audience, that trend is dead or dying. So you're riding the waning wave of a trend. And the only way to beat that is to either create a trend, be ahead of the trend, or write what you want and hope it catches on and makes its own trend. And I was going somewhere with this, and the alcohol got to me. I was being all fucking intellectual, and then the alcohol was like, you're going to lose your train of thought.
And you did. And you did.
I totally lost my train of thought. That is freaking hysterical.
Dude, so good.
Writing on trends doesn't do anyone any good unless you're at the very beginning stage of the trend, and you can write fast enough without using AI to get it out there while the trend is still hot. But the trends die too fast nowadays to get in on a trend, to write a 90,000 page book and have everything happen and get it out while the trend's still hot.
How long does it take you to write a book? Tell me.
That's what I was going to say. That's not what I was going to say. I was going to say something else. It depends on the book. Quickest it's ever taken me to write a book was 2 months. The longest is like a year and a half. Just depends on the book and time and my schedule and stuff like that. But the initial concept for the West Haven Undead series started way back when True Blood was still on the air. That's how long that started at as a concept. And I had never seen an episode of True Blood because I didn't want the trends of True Blood to leach into my story. So anytime I'm writing a book, I tend to not read that genre. I'll read every other genre I want, but I won't read the genre the book is in, because I don't want trends and cliches of that genre to leach into my stories.
Right.
And so I don't do that. I don't know what you do, because you write horror. As you coin it, you write horrotica. Horrotica? Is it? Yeah. It's horror erotica. So you're not reading horror or erotica while you write these.
I don't read anything.
You don't read. Always recommended ways for authors to hone their craft is just not read anything. Why don't you read anything?
Of course. No, it's hard. It's hard for me because here's the deal. I teach 7th grade English, right? So I'm reading kid shit all the time. And then when I come home, I got to do the mom thing, I got to do the wife thing, I got to do the life thing, and And then I sit down and I gotta write. Tell me where the fuck am I reading? Like, no, how am I reading? Oh, but you should be reading, at least an hour at night and blah, blah. I don't, and that's what I tell my kids. I'm like, you should be reading at least 20 minutes a night, every night, blah, blah, blah. But they're kids. I'm 48. I've been there, done that. So that time I'm writing. Now, that's not to say that I don't read, because I do. I'm not a prolific reader. I'm not, I'm just whatever.
Well, here's my question for you as a teacher.
Go.
Can you get the school district to make the Coal Elf mandatory reading for your English class?
No.
Why not?
You want to know why?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Because of who we're published with.
So what?
We're not with Scholastic.
And only Scholastic can get into schools?
Not only Scholastic. Okay, don't get me wrong. The Coal Elf is it's in my library. It's in the high school library. It's, you know what I mean? The kids have access to it. The kids have access to tons of shit. But as far as being required curriculum, that has to be like Newbery Award winner and da 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 da, and it's a whole like political landscape. So yeah, unfortunately,
become a college professor. That way, you can dictate what books are there.
I should.
Have you ever seen that where college professors do that? They're like, I wrote 3 books, and these are all required reading for the class. So yeah. Every semester, they're like, here's 300 book sales just because they have to and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, of course. So like the book that we're reading with my 7th graders right now, like most of them are buying the book and they're making, and it's not just a district thing. It's like a Florida thing. And you know how much money they're making from this book because every 7th grade student has to read it. Like it's crazy. That's the life right there.
There's going to be a lot of your students who look this up and watch this. And some of them are going to be inspired by you, for better or for worse, and want to become a writer. What advice do you have for them?
Oh, like for anybody wanting to become a writer?
Anybody want to become a writer? What advice do you have for them?
So I learned this real fast. And when I started out on this journey, I was like, oh yeah, I'm talented. I'm great. I'm going to get this done, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's a lot of people who are going to slam doors in your face. And I'm not just saying slam doors. I'm saying like full blown, like bat, like go away from me. You have to have a thick skin. Like if you want to make it even an inkling in this business, you have to be able to separate like the criticism. So when somebody criticizes you or tells you no, or says that no, I don't like this, or there's so many things wrong, whatever it is against you, you need to have a thick skin. You have to have armor, like not just thick skin, you have to have armor on you all the time, because the rejection and the criticism and the 2-star reviews and the 1-star reviews, like it sucks. It fucking sucks. And if you can't handle that, you're never going to make it. Because when I wrote the Coal Elf was my first book. And the one person who I thought was supposed to support me and love me and say that everything was wonderful and beautiful gave me some really bad feedback. My husband, Joe DeVivo. He told me it sucked.
You just throw him under the bus. No, you never told me this shit at all.
I never told you this shit. Okay, so he read the first version of it, right? He reads it and he's like, babe, this sucks. This is not good. It's no good. It's never gonna get published. And I had a decision to make. Like I could have either stopped altogether or I could continue. So I continued. And then I tweaked it, I rewrote it, I spent a year on it. And then he read it again and he was like, oh, okay, this is good now. You made it better. You listened, right? You learned. And then I started querying agents and I started querying publishing houses. and the door got slammed in my face over 100 times. Like I can tell you it was 108 times that I got rejection letters. And I had two decisions to make. I could either keep going or I could stop. And I decided I was going to write about zombies and forget about elves and do something different because I really, really wanted this. Like I really, really wanted it. And I said, fuck everybody, fuck the haters, because there's going to be haters are going to hate. So my advice, and I learned this the hard way. I learned it the hard way. You have to put that armor up. And that's the long-winded version of my advice.
I like it. And there's nothing to be short-winded about. Thick skin. So outside of our publisher, which is Four Horsemen Publications website at fourhorsemenpublications.com, give us all the shameless self-promotion. Where can we find you? Where can we buy your books? How can we follow you? All that jazz. Help your stalkers stalk you.
Stalkers, you want to stalk me? Here's how you stalk me. First, go to www.mariadevivo.com. I mean, that's like your one-stop shop. All of my links are going to be there, all my socials, whatever. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm loving Instagram so much right now. At author DeVivo. You can follow me at TikTok at author Maria DeVivo. Oh no, that's a lie. It's at Maria DeVivo 6. That's my TikTok. But like once you go to my website, you'll be able to find everything.
And once again, what's the website? MariaDeVivo.com?
Yeah.
Okay.
I made it simple, easy,
Yes.
foolproof.
And where can we buy your books at, if not off your website?
You can't buy them off my website. I actually
There you
have to
go.
stop a shop. I know. You got to show me how to set up a shop because I'm stupid and I need to figure that out.
You will do that, and you're not stupid. Continue.
Okay, thank you.
So where can they buy them?
fourhorsemenpublications.com. Check me out there. Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Books A Million. Baby, I'm everywhere.
And you could also go to her school's library and pretend you're a junior high kid and go check them out from the library.
But you can't get the witch books because I don't talk about those because they're sexy.
Yeah, and junior high kids definitely don't do things like that.
Definitely not.
I honestly, the more I go through life and talk about my youth, the more I realize I was far more delinquent than I thought I was.
Dude,
we'll talk after this. Yeah, we'll talk after this.
No, wait. I can't believe I'm still alive. Like, I cannot believe I'm still alive.
Yeah, the shit we've done. Let's see. I want to. We've talked about so much today, and I want to thank everybody who has stopped by and listened and stayed, and maybe just came by for a bit. Whatever. We love you all. Thank you for this, and tune in every time we post one of these episodes on all the podcast stations. I should know the podcast stations, but my coordinating producer puts them all out, not me. I'm the pretty face. But thank you all for joining us, and for Four Horsemen Publications for sponsoring this and making it possible. And until next time, and this is where we wave goodbye to everybody, remember, it costs nothing to be kind.
Thank you for listening to Drinking with Authors. Join us next time for another fun conversation with an author over drinks.